Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Nikhar Agarwal, extend to you all a very warm welcome to today's webinar on driving innovation, business, and digital transformation by shaping service experiences, an initiative by ETCIO and Symphony AI Summit. The ever-evolving digital technologies are forcing the IT/ITES industry to enhance its technology stack, which is a bold move for any industry and an opportunity. The need of the hour is to scale innovative breakthroughs and drive business growth with digital transformation. While IT/ITES firms are overzealous about implementing cutting-edge technologies, the change in workplace dynamics has introduced unique opportunities to enhance employee and user experience, automate process, do more with less, expanding and sustaining safe and reliable services with aging assets and decreased funding, and most importantly, drive a future-ready stack of AI-enabled enterprise workflow. The ubiquity of digital technologies has unleashed IT/ITES leaders to quickly adapt to unprecedented challenges like hybrid work environments, cloud migration, cybersecurity issues, and increased costs. Besides, it has enabled them to improve operational efficiency with automation, digital workflows, and boost business growth with digital transformation and technologies. To learn more about how Symphony AI enterprise service and asset management solutions can help the IT/ITES industry to drive innovations, today we are joined by Mr. Jayendran Sridharan, Senior Solutions Consultant at Symphony AI Summit, to deliberate on ways to accelerate business transformation by shaping service experiences for employees anywhere. Our esteemed speaker, Mr. Jay, has about 18 years of versatile experience in the technology space. He's a great technologist and has amazing knowledge about innovation, digital transformation, people, process, and technologies. Welcome to this topical webinar, Mr. Sridharan.
Hey, thanks, Nikar. Thanks a lot for that introduction.
So without any further delay, let's start with today's session. We encourage our audience to share your questions with us in the Q&A section as the session progresses. Towards the end of the webinar, we will open the platform for our esteemed speaker to answer your questions. With that, over to you, Mr. Sridharan.
Thanks, Nikar. So let me share my screen. So welcome everybody, and thanks a lot for joining this webinar. And in today's webinar, you're going to see how, as an AI-powered IT enterprise workflow company, how we have helped different organizations to take their journey. So today, if you look at it, we are way past service SLAs, and now we're in today's world, we are more talking about experience, right? Everything happens to be how the experience, the journey was during the entire transition of either a certain set of services, what you've asked for, or anything today, any example. If you take today, people, we were looking at SLAs as one point in time, but then we have embarked that journey towards experience. How well and how comfortable were we during that entire process? So it's drastically improved. And today, all organizations are also moving towards how better they can serve either their customers or their own employees to embark that journey through a flawless and seamless experience. Right? Everything starts building from that. Every metrics is based on how the experience in the journey is. Right? Having said that, if you look at Gartner and what they have done, so if you notice, the traditional experience, the one which is represented in white, is your typical SLA. So if something happens today in an IT environment, what normally they do, they make sure if it's a break fix, they come up with fix. Now, if it's a laptop, something's not working in a laptop, they just make sure they come, they take your laptop, or probably they do a remote desktop, and then they go and fix whatever is the issue with that. That's it. That ends there. So there's no experience for either the person who's helping or the person who wanted that service, right? But then over the years, and if you look at the ones in yellow, they're talking about having the experience, if the experience is enriched. And if you look at it, it's been consistent. There's never been a drip on the journey itself. But the traditional way, it's like, it's okay, it's normal. But whereas when you've improved that, you've given them options through various enterprise applications, which helps that journey, that's where that difference comes. And then this particular graph or this indication, what Gartner has done is basically telling us that XLA helped drive better IT experience by obviously using, we have AI, we have enterprise applications, right? And also talking about sentimental analysis and and traditional SLA metrics that monitor the timelines and effectiveness of the supporting processes. So that's the journey, which is there. Now, when you talk about that, there's also, if you look at this particular survey, they've told that companies that spend time ensuring their employees are engaged outperform their competition by 147%. What does that mean? So it basically means that when you have all your employees engaged, and how better to get them engaged is to have the right set of applications in your environment or in your organization. And that's when you get your employees to be more focused, more engaged within the system here. So that's where the enterprise application should be, easy, simple, at the same time perform and do a lot more than what it is. So this is a pure indication saying that when the employees are engaged, they definitely will outperform any competition. It doesn't matter which industry they're from, but any competition by 147%. I mean, followed by that is like employees who not only just having the enterprise application, but if the journey for that employee has been amazing, they would invest more time, which are, in other words, they would have good experience using that set of enterprise applications, right? And once they do that, everything is easy, everything is available. It's everything is literally at their doorstep. And so what happens? There are 2x inclined to stay with our organization. So they know what the organization, or rather, they know that the organization hears them and provides them with such appropriate EA or enterprise applications, which kind of gives them that total different experience, that journey, which allows them to, obviously, they're very happy. If they're happy, we say happy customers, same thing with happy employees, the organization run better, and they can easily, there's 147%, they can do better than any of your competition here. So talking about this, today I want to also talk about how Symphony AI Summit helps that in that journey. This is just few examples which you're seeing on your screen. One is when an onboarding happens, that entire journey of onboarding, you want to make sure everybody is happy, that experience is in every way it is fruitful. So employee joins, the right set of trainings can be initiated through these enterprise applications, having the assets which they use being pre-configured with all the appropriate softwares, and have the appropriate access, and have the, add them to the appropriate, all taken care through automation, right? Service automation, which again, Summit is, provides that abundantly. And then all the softwares, in case there's another software which can be a request. Once the request has been made, the entire journey can be totally automated from the start to the end. So zero human intervention and zero errors from a human perspective. Have salary queries. Now, not just providing from an IT perspective, but if you look at it, Summit likes to call themselves more of an enterprise service management, right? Across departments, across business units, Summit is enriched and you can use them. So salary might not be related to an IT department, might be related to human resources, it can be finance. How do I know? And it's not, I don't want to go through different portals. I don't want to, that journey is not something which I would appreciate. So if you go on to that, so salaries would be finance or HR, doesn't matter, but it's all under one glass panel. All I need to do is just probably 2 or 3 clicks away to get that information, right? So multiple things, upgrades, office supplies. Now this goes to administration in your office, or facilities, some of them would call it. So how do I get that? So everything, that entire journey, it's so easy, so simple. It's all under one I would say, under one roof. So you would have all of this: relocation, travel, anything, offboarding also, the journey of an employee who's enjoyed this experience working with you all. And if that person wants to offboard for whatever reason, you want to make sure even that journey is actually absolutely smooth. So it's not just onboarding, but even offboarding perspective. So today you're going to actually embark the journey along with me when I show you these features as to how this entire journey, not just employment, but even employees and employers, how do they benefit from our product here. So that's something which is there. Now, just one use case which we've had. This is one of our leading life insurance companies in India. When they came up to us, when they knocked on our doors, when we reached out to them, we told them that, I mean, they told us that they have 20 plus different portals for different departments, various other things. It was clustered. They were all over the place. They couldn't, and that experience of the users never, they didn't appreciate it as much as they wanted them to. And then when we brought in Summit there, and we made sure that we told them that, doesn't matter how many different business units or departments you have, we're going to put them all under one roof or one single panel, so that your user's journey and the people who are helping those users, all of them have that kind of experience which is easy and quicker. So everything gets, the turnover is much faster, all of that. So all that, what we did, configured it under Summit, a single portal, and then we rolled out various aspects when it came to service automation, and our AI also cut down a few of the processes journey a lot more. So all of this was achieved. So what happened was, by doing this, we had better business alignment and greater saving and time. They were very, very happy with how we had designed the entire Summit to make sure they don't have any of these issues which they previously had. So when we talk about Summit, right? So who we are, so we are part of a group called Symphony AI. Now, Symphony AI is embarking a journey, and the vision of that particular journey is to make sure they transform all the enterprise with AI. Now, I'm sure everybody knows B2C. So AI is being used drastically when it comes to B2C. But what we do as Symphony AI, we want to make sure we make that B2B. We make that same experience and that journey using our AI with B2B business. So our mission is to build the leading enterprise AI SaaS company, and I'm very sure of it. As part of the family, we're going to reach that. So what we do, we make sure that is predictive and generative AI SaaS solutions delivered through operational efficiencies and AI-driven recommendation across verticals here, right? So we have 1,300 customers across the world, across the globe. We have 3,000 employees. And when we talk about customers, you can see them, it's all across all verticals here. You can see we have Coca-Cola, we have 3M, we have NBC, we have Bosch, right? And I'm sure there are other names here, but the Kellogg's, the P&G's, all companies which are embarking the journey along with us, and all happy customers, all are being happy customers, and they enjoy the Symphony AI journey. The accolades, some of the accolades which we won across different industries, different verticals. So as a group, this is the accolades we won. Now coming to who we are. So Symphony AI Summit, this is who we are. And when you look at it, we have been very proud of the accolade that we've been a Gartner's Pure Insight Customer Choice Award for the last, from the year 2018 or till this year, we've been the Customer Choice Award. We've also been at 6 continuously a CIO Choice Award in India. We've also played an ISG provider. We've been in there as a leader in the global space, as well as the major players in the IDC market space. Right? Very, very proud of these accolades, and again, are very specific customers to us. If you notice, we again verticals, the different forms of verticals: telecommunication, financial services, technology and consulting, auto and manufacturing, and consumer. So we are across, and I'm sure like the Marutis, you have the Max Lives, and again Coca-Cola, Jubilant products, all across we have. Now, this is again the stats, which is based on the customer's choice award against our fierce competition. And as you can see, we've been topping it. Willingness to recommend right on top there, and we've beaten them by quite a distance. So all our competition. So that's something we're very proud of. We've also been recognized as an honorable mention in the 2022 Gartner Magic Quadrant. In other words, you're going to see us there soon, probably a year and a half from now, we're going to be there. So I'm very proud again that Gartner is recognized and mentioned an honorable mention here. These are snippets of where we stand. Obviously, this is available on the Gartner website. You're more than happy to go and check it out. This is the ISG providers. So again, we've been in the top leaderboard. So that's who we are. And finally, talking about what we offer as an organization, today's summit. So we are a true, when we talk about platform, we are a true multi-tenant platform. We are available on cloud as well as on-prem. So when I say on cloud, out of the box, Azure, but we can be hosted in Google, Amazon, name it, we can do that. On-prem, if you want it on within your premises, we are more than happy to deploy that on premises. We are not hardware heavy, so we're very light. So you get to do that. So you have a best of both worlds. So you get to choose as a customer for us. A huge integration library hub. So we have that. The remaining, I'm going to show you in the demonstration how the workflow happens, how you can build forms. And we're very proud of a very simple concept called no code, low code. In other words, you don't have to write an elaborate code to get a feature out of it. It's a simple click, drag, and drop. We have that. And how does this platform support? What are the offerings? So we are an ITSM. I'm sure by now you would have known it, but we would pretty much like to be called more of an enterprise service management, because we work across all, I wouldn't say industries, but departments like human resources, legal, marketing, doesn't matter. We are an enterprise service solution. The flexibility of product allows us to become a very powerful enterprise service management solution. Along with that, we offer asset management, a complete lifecycle of asset management with service automation and our AI Cindy. So service automation, I'm going to narrate a lot of examples during our demonstration. Cindy, I'm going to show you some examples of Cindy, how Cindy helps, but there's a lot more between Cindy and service automation, which does wonders, right? We are an omni-channel, so you have various ways to get in touch or talk to Summit here, either through a mobile app or your emails, Teams, Slack, Skype, Jabber. So all of these options are available here. So consumers, I'm sure by now, if you followed my journey, consumers today, we cater to anybody and everybody. In other words, since we are an enterprise service management, so any department can use Summit today, especially if you're providing services to various customers. Multi-tenancy becomes an important piece of it. So each customer becomes a tenant by itself. So, and you can embark that journey without having it confidential, security, all of that, and also helping your customers get that experience, that rich experience, which I'm sure they're going to enjoy that along with you when it comes to taking care of your customers. So this is a very high level. It's more like a preview of what it is and what we have. There's a lot more. When we talk about reports, we have BI reporting capabilities. Apart from the out-of-the-box reports and dashboards which are available, you can build your own business intelligence reports and dashboards here. Right. Having said that, let me stop here. I think let me show you the product capabilities. Right. So let me get into the system and walk you through the journey. And you will know whatever I just spoke, whatever you just saw, how it plays when it comes to systems here. So I've logged in. I've logged into the Summit system here. Everything what you're seeing on your screen is totally configurable, and I'm going to use this word quite often than not, because we I don't want to use the word customization. Customization means, at least for us, it means that you go and tweak the codes, you change the code. So we are not into that. We are more into a simple configuration, which can be achieved by the system administrator here. Now, the system administrator again doesn't have to be skilled. Because the product provides that kind of ability for you to create, even if it's the person from the human resources department, as long as they understand the process, the journey is very, very simple. It's all click, drag and drop, and then you start building a form, building a request, and so on and so forth. So when you look in the portal, I'm talking about the image, the logos, the bulletin points, or the scroller, all of this totally configurable. Now, when we talk about multi-tenancy here, and if you can keep enterprise service management, if you notice, it's one click away, one-stop shop for the customer's journey, that experience. So I can just go into human resources and then start asking questions. If I have questions on human resources, they can have their own set of look and feel. They can design it the way they want. And when I'm talking about this, you need to also think about what happens if they're not doing in department wise, but it's your customers, right? Now that journey is going to be very similar, but different. So for that customer, he's not going to see, he or she's not going to see all these. He's going to only see his login page. But as a service provider, you're going to see customer A, customer B, customer C, and then that's how you're going to provide those services, making sure you maintain that consistency, and you don't have to toggle between one portal to another, and it's a total nightmare. So you don't have to do that, but the journey is easy. But having said that, even if your customer wants to have multi-tenant for various departments, even though you're providing, you can still go about doing that, right? Now, when you moved on, when I said, human resources, that particular portal, or let's take an example, if it's that particular customer, they can have something very specific to that industry or that vertical. Like in this case, the example here is I moved from IT to and human resources, and you can see that this is more from HR policies and procedures, and how the journey is. So in other words, if you notice, what I'm trying to tell you is all the business processes, can be driven through that digital transformation, what we're talking about, right? So all of that can be achieved. Now, having said that, let's take the AI part of it. So Cindy here, if you look at Cindy for us, it's built on natural language, machine learning. Over the course of time, Cindy learns, it evolves, and I'll show you a few examples, and then you can see that. So, for example, the most common, most simple, let me say, is something like this, right? So I'm just saying Outlook is not working, and then Cindy starts understanding the intent of that conversation. It first identifies, okay, is this an issue, or is this a request? Let me see, and then that it understands it's an incident. Once it understands the incident, it searches for articles pertaining to that particular intent, or what we call as the utterance. And based on that utterance, it pulls out if there are information based on that before it even helps you to log a ticket. It kind of provides that information. So for example, over here, it says, hey, you know what, I found knowledge articles. Probably these articles might help you. Why don't you take a look at it? So as you can see, a quick sneak peek, you have like there are steps, and obviously I can expand it. I can see a lot more saying, okay, these are the steps you want to try it on. You can try it on. I can close, or there's a video, or I would say media content. Now this is a YouTube video. We have embarked on YouTube video, embedded a YouTube video over here, but you can have your own media content if there's something which you've already recorded, something which is already there. Outlook, I know it's common, but some other issues which are pertaining to something very focused to your vertical or your set of customers where you're providing services, you can have those videos and then have them attached during that information. So this is just one example here. Now it obviously asks you, should I log, or are you okay with this information? If I say, okay, I'm done, that's good. Now, not only that, now this is having an issue or probably raising a request. I can even go about having, let's say you have an L&D set of, so if I say for us, we call them LMS, right? Now I can go and fetch information from that particular portal or department or that's specific. So where in that journey, I can connect, I can make sure Cindy connects to that third-party application and fetches that information and also follow up with that information. So I can probably say, get my scores. Then it's going to ask you questions based on it, because when I say get my scores, obviously it wants to know who am I asking for, and then it can ask, appropriately, and then bring out my scores and information here. So this is, again, I'm showing you small examples, but then there's a lot more what Cindy can do. You can probably even ask, how is the weather? Cindy can go and get that information for you. You can talk about hygiene. I want to know some articles on hygiene. You can go about doing that, right? So now this is one set of examples. So when you look at the way I can engage with my system, obviously Cindy can sit on Teams, Skype, Jabber, all of this, the journey where Cindy can converse, and then you can have the same, what you just saw, the same sort of experience from that perspective. Now, all this and more from a digital transformation is what I'm trying to showcase here. So now, if I get into, say, a catalog, the same thing which I could have asked Cindy, saying that, talk about a catalog, whether it is a software installation or that. So the digital transformation which happens there is that Cindy takes in your request, understands, and also not only that, it creates a request, and based on that, it generates or it kicks off the service automation. The transformation, the digital transformation, you don't need to have somebody actually going checking, but it kicks off that automation, which allows the system to understand that this is the license of software which you're looking at, take the license, and then go ahead and install it into that particular person. Now, obviously, there are approvals. After the approvals are being met, you can embark that journey here. So it's not just talking about raising a request, but a lot more. So this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about that experience through digital transformation, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So imagine Cindy available 24/7. I'm sure if you're providing customer support, your teams might be working 24/7. But for the teams who are not, if Cindy can do as much as it's capable of, that way, again, that experience is enriched for your customers. So it enjoys that journey, that everybody is happy from that perspective. Right now, if you look at it, onto my left, I have various catalogs representing various departments, or for that matter. So, for example, this is all related to IT. If I go to human resources, now what I'm trying to tell you is that it's just not the IT department which enjoys this digital transformation. It is across. It's regardless whether it's human resources, whether it's marketing, whether it's legal, finance, anybody embarks that journey, and we are making sure that everybody has the same experience, not just the IT team, but across different departments enjoys that, right? So this is what I was talking about, having that digital transformation throughout, not just in IT, but an enterprise service management. Now, let me take an example here. Let's take an example where we involve an asset, since our system has asset management with that. So we have seamlessly integrated with our asset management. And at any point in time, if someone makes a request, right? Now, if I'm doing a simple, let's say, a laptop request, now I can choose a specific version, a model of a laptop, or I can go the conventional way of doing this, right? Now, what happens is, as a user, I have the experience of filling it up. I get options. Again, that experience is good. They're asking me rather than my team or the IT team taking a call for me. So as a user, I have that, and this form, what you're seeing here, is what Summit allows administrator to create on the fly. And when I say on the fly, very quickly. Now, the reason why I'm saying the form can be filled, I'll just take that step back and see that experience, not from an employee, but also the users who's making that journey. they want to make sure that they have enough. Today, every user, if they have more options, they're very happy. They enjoy that, saying, okay, you know what, I get to choose. That itself is boost their experience, right? So you get to choose. So this form can be built either like this, or another conventional way is, you just call it out saying, hey, you know what, you want a Surface Pro, this is what Microsoft Surface Pro is. Just fill up the information. If you want to have a cost, just talk about how many quantities you want. If you happen to be a project manager, you're handling a project for one of your customers who you provide services, you can talk that. Now, this is the form experience, and I'm going to show you how that form can be built. But after this, I spoke about the seamless integration with Asset. Now, when the person gets the request, I'm talking about he or she who has to fulfill that request after all the approvals, can directly talk to the asset management, as in find out whether how many assets are there in store, is this version of laptops available, or in this case, is this version of Surface Pro is available, and is it something which can be given to this particular. So all of that information, since it's seamlessly integrated, we get that. So this entire asset information flows to that particular request. And now what I'm trying to say is, again, if you look at that transformation here, ideally speaking, a typical use case would be the request is sent, then they have to, have the request, then go up to the store, check whether the assets are there, come back, and then fill up, and then configure, and then go about giving that. So all that journey can be totally automated. The moment I ask for this, if it has to have a certain set of default softwares in them, service automation can kick in, install all that softwares, keep that ready, and then you can go ahead and have that journey. Again, emphasizing on experience and also the digital transformation which you achieve by using Summit today. So again, just one example talking about how you can request, whether it happens to be an asset, if it happens to be a software or any other IT related request you want, or you want access, you want a share folder, all of that. Share folder, I would say, using automation, any form of access, I would say that journey is so easy, so quick in Summit today. Through Cindy, it's even more faster because Cindy asks the appropriate questions, triggers off the automation. If there's approval, triggers the approval, after which automation gets triggered, and then everything is being done. So this is one such option, and obviously you need to also keep this in mind that this entire experience is applicable to any of these business functions or departments, whatever you want to call them. It's the same. That experience is consistent and it's not just for IT but consistent. This is more from catalogs, right? This is more from, let's say, IT. I can even show you some non-IT catalogs, right? Now, all this while we're seeing all experience. Now, non-IT catalogs can be requesting for a printer, making sure the right printer is there, stationery, vehicle parking or transport, or if you take logistics, travel, you're talking about booking a particular airline and you want to have that information processed and have all the documents sent. All of that can be achieved through these catalogs, which are there from that perspective. So as you can see on the screen, like right from booking a cab to issuing business cards, talking about any pantry services which is required, or you're hosting a lunch for your customers who are visiting your office today because you're providing services. They want to see how well you'll function and you want to host them. You have everything. So if you notice everything, you can have Wi-Fi provided from an IT department, and all through under one request. Again, this is that journey which I was talking about, digital transformation, everything. So imagine if someone's coming to your office, you can initiate just by raising one request. We have multiple tasks which gets enabled. One task goes to IT saying, hey, provide them with guest Wi-Fi. Second, probably it can be human resources or facilities providing with temporary cards, access cards, which needs to provide them access for one whole day. And then you go to facilities to organize them with some pantry services where, during a meeting or a boardroom or high tea, or even for that matter, lunch, all of that, imagine just one request and it shoots out to various departments and everybody just follows the specific task. So everybody knows in advance. I mean, you don't have to, do this in the last minute where normally the departments are not very happy saying, hey, you can now, and I don't have anything. So everybody's prepared. And that experience is again fulfilled naturally. So that journey again, even though I didn't speak about IT, but a non-IT example would be, when you're hosting somebody. So this is something which is there. So Summit provides that. So this is what I'm trying to emphasize on, that the digital transformation across any department. So enterprise service management is involved from that perspective here, right? Now, let me take you to a journey where how, as a person who gets all this requests, gets all this tickets, how do I process that, and how helpful is Summit today in giving me that? Because you're just seeing the user's experience. Now let's talk about how, as a person who I would like to call, I mean, in Summit we call them analysts, how analysts, that experience goes on, because it has to be, even they need to make sure that they have that experience going on here. So if I go in, so first is like I said, we have multiple dashboards. So this is a dashboard which calls out for all analysts as to where each tickets have come in, whether it's a request, whether it's a change, problem, incident, the whole ITSM. Obviously, requests can cater to not just IT, but I just give you an example. Somebody, you're hosting a set of your customers. It doesn't have to always be IT, so it can be even something unrelated to IT here. But the journey is now, obviously, dashboard gives me a lot of information. Quick information, like as a manager, when I quickly view that, I know what's happening, who's doing what, what's that information, all this SLAs, all that information I get, and I'm going to go back to that dashboard, and I'll show you more from that. Now, as I just got into incidents, and if I'm going into a ticket, I get to see all this information as to how many incidents were raised, how many are open, how many been resolved, what's the current month, what's the SLA response met, and the resolution SLA. So today we have SLAs which cater to that. But more importantly, when you look at transformation, I want to make sure my analysts have enough and more to quickly resolve all the tickets here. So what do I do is start providing them with robust filters, right? Now, this helps them to kind of get to what they want to see in real quick time. So every time they can create this and make it as a view and ensure that they reach out and select whatever is being configured here by themselves. So we would also like to call this personalization. They can personalize what they want to see, when they want to see it, and real quickly they want to see it. So you can keep adding as many filters, if you want to call it, or fields, or any specific selection which helps your journey. And when I say your journey, as an analyst journey, which helps them to have quick turnarounds, quick way of getting into a ticket and working, or grouping tickets and working real quick. So you can go about doing that, and you can create as many views as you want, because you want a quick switching. If I wanted, like, let's say all new incidents, if I want to do something like that, I wanted to switch it up real quick, and then it loads all the new incidents which are coming up for me, so I know that these are all new incidents. Now, if I get into an incident, let's say I want to know what are the information Summit provides today. So we have a concept called operational intelligence. Now, this is again the journey where we talk about experience, which embarks the analyst to kind of do a quick turnover on that perspective. Excuse me. So if you look at this, this is how a typical ticket looks like. Now, if there are multiple tabs, obviously these are standard tabs which fetches enough and more information, and all of this information gets auto-filled. So you don't have to go about clicking on each and every field and filling it up. It's based on we have, again, a lot of features. We have business rules, we have rules, we have templates, so many things which aids in making that journey quicker and easier for my analyst is available here. So everything gets filled up the moment the ticket is raised by the user or your customers today. Everything gets that. But this is something which we stand out, or it's unique, is that based on the contextual information which you get from that perspective of what the issue is, based on that, the system, the way we have built it, it automatically starts fetching this information and starts providing this. Now, similar open incidents, similar closed, these are pretty standard, right? And knowledge articles, but it doesn't stop there. We are talking about remediations, any root causes, any change records, CIs, which are involved, and current environmental issues, if you're having any issues with the environment. So all of this information comes based on the contextual data which is being provided by the user here. Now, for me, if this VPN has been resolved earlier, I can probably just go into the closed ones, follow that step, and quickly resolve that information here. If not, if it's part of a journey where change record is being worked on, I know that, okay, this is the change record. They are creating something to do with the VPN, and I'll probably put it on hold and wait till the change gets involved. Or I can go ahead and link it to that particular chain which is taking place and saying, hey, you know what, this is another incident which has come up because you've been upgrading a VPN, make sure this is being taken care of. So if you look at that again, that transformation which is there, even though I'm within an incident, it's just literally a click away to have that entire ticket go into the change process, and then that would again embark another journey of change and so on and so forth. So everything, if you notice right from here, it starts. And how did I know that? It's because I got that information. This is that digital transformation which I'm showing, and also that experience for an analyst which takes place here. So again, that journey becomes very easy. Right? So this is one such thing. And obviously I spoke about service automation, which where orchestration can play a place. If there's any orchestration, it'll be available here, and then you can go ahead and use that. Now, if you notice, if I happen to be a L1 engineer who is working on an SAP sort of a incident or an issue, so what happens is that now I see troubleshooting, and I've got some information. At the same time, I know that the administrator has configured certain steps which can go about having taken care by executing certain, let's say, scripts, right? The orchestration script or the automation script. Now, even though I'm an L1, obviously I don't have the information of the username, the password, and all of that. But since I'm an L1, I just don't want to pass it on to an L3 support who's an expert in SAP, but I want to do proactively do some root causes. Right? So I can initiate that. And the beauty of it is that once it executes, the output of that would come on this ticket. It'll append to this ticket. That information is available. And if it works, then I get to close the incident then and there. Now just keep this. And if you think of the broader picture through digital transformation, what you're doing from an L1 itself, you are ensuring that that team resolves, I would say, a good 70 to 80%, because you have operational intelligence, you have automation in place, all of this is available. You have that option to do that even before it is born. So what we classically call is a first call resolution, something which can be easily achieved, and that experience is blissful. Right? So from that perspective over here. Now this is from an incident perspective, right? The journey is. Now let me quickly take you back and then say, let's say if I show you a request, right? An onboarding request. Let's take one, an onboarding request where I want to show you how that journey has unfolded from having creating multiple tasks, different tasks when the employee onboards, because there are different departments which have been involved and so on and so forth. So you have that option going on here. And also let me just change the status, because since it's through everything is automated, it would have already closed the request here. So I'm just applying this. So when you look at that employee onboarding, there you go, with software installation, let me take the first one itself. That entire journey, since it's already through service automation, we have automated the process. So it gets, the request is being created, it has the appropriate information, who's the user, who's onboarding, what kind of software needs to be installed, so on and so forth. So as the journey goes on, if you notice in the communication tab, it says, it already gives you the communication that, hey, a software, I mean, this is just a demo system. So Notepad is the software which we wanted. So it's been installed, and it says it's been successfully installed. And that entire journey where email ID, AD, adding the user to Active Directory, all of that is being created. And not only that, what we call task in layman's term, in Summit, we call them work orders. And if you notice, a work order has been triggered to the asset team to provide a laptop, and another work order has been triggered to the asset team. Only difference is this one is gone through automation, but even though it has gone through automation, there is a work order which tells that this software needs to be installed in this particular laptop. So both of which has been triggered from a perspective of this can be sequentially triggered. This can be automatically triggered, depending on how you want to configure it. All of that configuration is available. And finally, you get to follow up with all the orchestration which is run. What is the current status? When was it executed? What is the output of it? And what is the workflow's name? So all of that journey gets captured here from an automation perspective here. So if you notice, again, digital transformation is changing, right? The way we are talking about it, it doesn't matter. And if employee onboarding is not just related to HR department. It is with IT, it's with facilities, so many other departments as well. I'm sure in your organization there's a lot more here. Now imagine you're extending these kind of services, the customers you're supporting today, right? They're going to make sure, I mean, if you're going to cut down their onboarding time from probably, which takes 2 to 3 days, to 8 hours, they're going to be really very, very happy. That experience is going to give them a lot more confidence within the services you provide by using Summit today. So that's something which I want to quickly show you all from that perspective. And now I've been telling you all about, the quick click, drag and drop. Let me show you how that works from the Summit perspective, because you've seen this, you saw how they can transform and how we can now let me show you like simple configurations here. So if I take, let's say, since we are looking at a request, let me take a catalog here, right? I'll say IT related catalogs, and if I say new, it's just 4 simple steps. You fill up the information as to what catalog you want to create and under what category does it belong to. So if I say, let's say onboarding, offboarding, an example, I'll say let the app team take this over, and I'm going to call this just a sample. And if I say next, this is where that journey starts of creating that entire form. And this happens to become my canvas here. Now all the controls are onto my left, and if you notice, all I need to do is simply drag and drop them here. And then this is a text box. If I want to drop down, drag and drop down. If I want an attachment, drag and drop an attachment. It's all available here. But now the look, the aesthetic is probably too much. I can always change that. I can have maximum up to 2 columns. What it does, it automatically splits and allows you. Now each of this, being a control by itself, has its own set of properties which I can edit, I can tweak, I can give it a name, label, all of that, minimum, maximum characters. And obviously, not only that, once I've designed this form, I get to save them. So for my future use, if I happen to use this, say like, for example, international travel template, I drag it, drop that. I have all that information coming up here, and then I can tweak it and again, save it as another template and then start using this. So quicker turnover time. So again, it's not complicated, very simply, if you're aware of the process, anybody who's gone through our training can use this. Now, same thing with workflow. So, we have workflows for change and catalog. Now, if I happen to design a workflow, again, it works on quick, clicking, dragging and dropping. So if I happen to choose, let's say, something to do with the folder access, right? If I want to create a folder access perspective, I can go ahead and create that. Just give me a minute. Let me refresh. Yeah. So when I'm talking about creating this, I'm talking about creating a approval workflow here. So approvals, it can be complex, it can be dynamic, it can be just standard. Talking about this is what I'm looking at, and this is what I want. So I can go about. So if I close this, so if you see this, now there's a simple journey where it starts having questions about whether you want a public access. If it is yes, it just goes to the team or the system. If it's automated, it goes to the system to provide that. But if it's confidential, then what happens is it goes to the folder owner. This is where it becomes dynamic. Now, if you happen to choose like folder A, then the owner is, probably owner A. But if it's folder B, then owner B. So dynamically, it has to change. So all we need to do is configure that and then have that information going on here. So very simple, very easy and achievable. So if I right click, go to properties, I have custom table approver. So I already have a table put up there. So based on that table and that information, this becomes dynamic here. And then there's another level of approval manager. Again, this manager, I can have this information fetched from Active Directory. All I need to do is just say reporting manager, call it out saying reporting manager, system automatically identifies who was reporting, have that information going on here. But in this case, you see two levels of approval. In this 0 levels, but there's one more if it's not confidential, but it happens to be a folder which is not public, not confidential, but a folder which, probably an intranet folder, something which is, there's only one level of approval. So the reason why I'm just showing you this example is that from 0 to 2 to 1 and more complex approvals with, you're having dynamic approval, all of this is possible just by dragging and dropping. Now, for example, if I want to create another approver, just drag and drop that, fill up this information, who, what, how is this information, is that standard or it's a customized approver, you customize that, and then you fix them through the journey. A condition, I can put up a condition. If I want just a notification, I can put up a notification. Again, a very simple example from that perspective here, right? So this is something which I wanted to talk to y'all when we talk about how we are using digital transformation in various departments, various verticals to embark that journey to different levels, to different heights. And along with that digital transformation is that experience journey, making it easy, making it simple, and all of that. So these are reports. I just wanted to show you reports and dashboards. We have out of the box, there's a lot of reports which come along. And apart from the reports, we have BI, business intelligence report and capabilities. So you can have as many reports and dashboards created on the fly, which can be personalized, which can be shared to only a certain set of people, and so on and so forth. So absolutely, you can embark that journey from that perspective here, right? This is what I wanted to showcase and talk to you all today about the experience about the digital transformation and what we offer from ITSM to IT asset management with service automation and the AI Cindy, which helps that journey make it more fruitful from that perspective, right? So all of this is the offerings which we have. So ITSM, enterprise service management, IT asset management, automation, and AI, which comes out from us today. So I'm going to take a pause here before we go into Q&A. I think Nikar has some poll questions for you. Over to you, Nikar.
Yes, thank you so much, Jay. That was quite a power-packed session. Well, let's move on to the Q&A session, Q&A round. So, Jay, we have a couple of interesting questions for you. So the first question is, can you elaborate on the digital enablement capabilities offered by Symphony AI Summit Enterprise Service Management and their impact on improving business processes?
So I think I already mentioned that today we had a whole gamut of examples which I showed you about how this digital transformation helps in embarking this journey. right? For example, if you look at features like operational intelligence, starting off with Cindy, and then how the Cindy stitches that journey for us from a digital perspective, the transformation. So we have automation, service automation, and then all the no code, low code concept from that perspective. So all of this, actually answers that question which you are asked, right? And how do we improve? Well, you already saw it. I give you a demonstration of it. All we need to hear from is from people who are there today on the call. I think you should throw some processes, different things which we are going to help you, embark that journey very comfortably from that aspect of it.
Right, exactly right. So Jay, let's move on to another question.
Sure.
So someone wants to understand more about the capabilities such as self-service and intelligent automation. So would you mind elaborating more and throwing some light and sharing some insights about the additional digital enablement capabilities offered by Symphony AI Summit Enterprise Service Management, such as self-service, intelligent automation, etc. And most importantly, how do they contribute? How do they contribute to improving operational efficiency? Over to you, Jay.
Perfect. So when we talk about self-service and how Summit embarks the journey or helps our customers embark that journey, is first thing I would want to say is about Cindy, right? The self-service. Now, Cindy, when you look at Cindy, Cindy is available 24/7. It's not dependent on anything. At any point in time, you can reach out to Cindy, have Cindy take up all your questions, all your utterances, and then Cindy is going to go all the way up to probably give you all, probably have you have the answers answered. But even if Cindy is not capable of doing that, it is going to introduce you to a live agent, and then that person is going to take over right where Cindy left, not start the cycle all over again. So that is one. But with Cindy, keeping Cindy in mind, once Cindy gets all that information, that journey then turns out into automation processes, right? So you have automation kicking in once Cindy gets all of that information, and then you have that journey met from an automation perspective. So this is how we enhance, improve, and have that experience from having it literally probably 2 clicks away, and then you have your issues resolved or your request fulfilled, all of that from that perspective. So Cindy starts the journey, and then automation ends it for us. And I'm sure when we talk about automation, it's zero human errors. So you don't have to intervene from that perspective. Quicker turnaround of time, and since it's available 24/7, automation works 24/7. So everything, anytime you can have that achieved. So that's how this is.
Well, thank you so much, Jay, for being with us today. We definitely got to learn a lot. So many insights shared by you, so many examples, and most importantly, the processes that you highlighted. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing such insightful content with us today. With that, we come to the end of this today's webinar. Before we wrap up, I want to wish all our audiences safety and the best of health. The Team Economic Times CIO wishes you all more positive and brighter tomorrow. Thank you so much, Jay, for joining us today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
Thanks, Nikar. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day ahead.